And we're back in the electrical room. So we got this old piece of junk. We're running Andover Continuum, the demo version on Windows XP. But basically our upstairs is hot, cool, downstairs is cool. So AC1 is our second floor, AC2 is the first floor, and we can see here that the supply temp here is currently at 48.8. Cool stage 1 is being called for. We're at 100% fan, so this one's working. And I've been inside. Downstairs is definitely cool, upstairs is warm. So we go back to equipment, and we are going to check AC1, which is the upstairs, and that's where it's kind of warm. And we can see here that 83 degrees is our service. It is calling for both, and our, what do you call it? It's putting out, our supply air temperature is 83. Evaporator, VFD speed 0. So something's going on with AC1, so we need to figure out what's going on with that. It looks like the actual, there was a power outage recently, so it looks like what's going on is maybe something got messed up, but it's starting to kind of look like it's the package unit, which is an IntelliPak. Whoa, it's like 81 degrees on that one. Yeah, so something's going on with it. So we're gonna go onto the roof and check the package unit and see what's going on with that, and then we'll kind of work our way down. Alright, so this is AC1, which is doing the upstairs. That one over there is AC2, which is doing the downstairs. Obviously it's running. Obviously this isn't doing anything. So now these IntelliPaks don't have an HIM, the human interface module, which makes it a lot funner. So I'm gonna open this up and see if I can see what's going on. So unfortunately, what happens is this right here, you have to turn off the power in order to open the door. However, there is a trick to it, because obviously if you turn off the power, you're going to clear any kind of lockout there is. So all you got to do is you get this little flathead and stick it in here, and you're going to go ahead and turn this, and then just pull. I can't do it one-handed. Turn that, and then pull. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and check voltage. So we're gonna go 1 to 2. Okay, got 210, and 2 to 3. Okay, 1 to 3. All right, cool. Same thing up here. Okay, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 1 to 3. Okay. So our next point is we want to go ahead and check all these fuses. 1 to 2. Yep. 2 to 3. 1 to 3. Same thing on the other side. Okay, so there are a couple fuses I'm going to check. So I've killed the power. One's good. This one is good. All the fuses are good. All the fuses. This transformer is functional. I have no line voltage to this transformer, therefore there's no voltage coming out of it. The inside units are not functioning, so, and I only have one of these operating. Our transformer is right here, down here, okay? So it's 115 volts, steps down to 24 volts, which is going to control pretty much everything. However, if we look here, we can see 120 is provided to the transformer, right? If we follow it up, we can see it goes into here, and then it goes into a 3U72 fault signal with a normally open switch, and then also the 3U74 also with an open, comes out of here, and then that's line. So I have no line voltage going to that transformer. I suspect that transformer is controlling the control system, okay? Only one of my VFD monitors is on. So I'm thinking one of these, I'm hopefully if they're the same, the one on the left that's powered off could be killing the high voltage to that transformer, which is killing the control system. That's what I think it is. So I need to find that VFD and locate it. It's possible it exploded or just failed when the power went out. So we need to verify that. Okay, so we can see that this VFD is dead, which is probably the one that's dead over there. This one doesn't have a monitor on it, but it appears to be running. So this is probably the one that's still on. So we're gonna go ahead and make sure I have voltage coming to everything, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right, so I wanna make sure I have voltage first. So we go 1 to 2. Yep, 2 to 3. 1 to 3. Yep, okay. 1 to 2. Oh, we got nothing. 2 to 3. Nothing. 1 to 3. All right, so we have no power going to this. This looks like it's connected to these fuses. I'm not sure exactly how that works. It looks like voltage comes into this. Maybe goes through the fuses. Let's check the fuses, see if we have power there. 1 to 2. 2 to 3. 1 to 3. Cool. Let me check underneath. 1 to 2. 2 to 3. 1 to 3. So we blew up our fuses. So we need to figure out what's going on with that. Alrighty, so I got the power turned off. So that one's dead. That one is dead. That one's still good. It looks like we got 2 out of 3 fuses dead. So it's a JJN60. Crazy. All right, it's the next day. I'm back here at this IntelliPak. I got me some fuses. I'm gonna go ahead and swap out the fuses and then go from there. All right, got our fuses in. Let's power this up, see what happens. So I was hoping that it just blew the fuses because of the power outage, but it looks like it blew up the, whatchamacallit, the actual VFD is shorted. So yeah, I probably blew up my new fuses. So I'm gonna turn the power off, and then I'm gonna look into bypassing that VFD. Okay, so I'm looking at the schematic, and here is our interlock connector. See note 1. Only when the fault interlock harness or if the fault interlock connector is called for on production order as indicated for wire set. So in this particular case, it does have it. It's going to be 01 and 02. As you can see, that is a normally open switch. So since this is not powered, that is open. So it's not powering up our transformer, which is part of the control system. I suspect that it's these 2 wires here. Okay. Yeah. Relay 1. So I might actually be able to move it over to the normally closed one, which is this one here, and that might at least get our transformer going. But then I need to figure out about getting this thing bypassed. So I think we're on a roll here. All right, so I'm just making sure that this is actually my alarm. So I should be getting 120 on one side and nothing on the other. So I got nothing there. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's my alarm. So we're gonna go ahead and tie those together and see what happens. All right, so we have, I've moved it from D1, so it was on D1 and D2, so I moved it to D1 and D3, which should be the normally closed relay, which it should still be closed. I have all the fuses taken out, so that's not powered up. I just want to see if I'm getting power to that transformer now, and then once I do that, we'll figure out, I think this is the supply fan. I'm not 100% sure, but we're probably gonna rig it up where it just runs all the time, so we'll see. Okay, so we have our meter hooked up. We're gonna power it up. If we have power to this, we know that that's what's killing our control system. All right. So that's our relay. Cool. So now we need to figure out about bypassing the motor itself, or bypassing the VFD, so we can get that motor running. All right, so we got it all wired in, so we're gonna go ahead and see if we can get this motor to operate and then go from there. Alrighty, here we go, moment of truth. Well, control system works. This quit working. I think we blew another fuse. All right, so I'm using a mega ohm meter here to test these windings, just to see if maybe there's something up with this motor. So I'm going from line 3 to ground. So I push and hold this for 10 seconds. Okay, the on light is on, and the reason why it went off is because the what do you call it? You can see here it says above 1,000 mega ohms, there's no light. So this is past the, you know, as high as that goes. So we can go ahead and check all 3 of these. And then I'm just putting these wire nuts to cover them so I don't accidentally touch ground, because that will throw off your readings. This isn't actually my mega ohm, this is my shop's one. I've actually never used one of these before, so I read the manual and I think I'm using this correct. Let me know in the comments if I'm not. Make sure it's not touching anything else. And there we go. Yep, so it still be, that one's good. Yeah, so windings are good. I don't know what's going on here. All right, so we're back. We're installing the new VFD. This is a Honeywell, so it's a third-party one. It was like, the OEM one was like $2,000 more, and it was out for like weeks and weeks and weeks. So I'm wiring this up. But the blower motor is actually okay. What happened was, the blower motor, when it's on a VFD, never runs at 100%. So these things blew up because all of a sudden the motor's running at 100%. So the motor itself was fine. It was just, I should have hooked it up directly to the terminals because there's like 150 amp fuses connected to this line input. But that's why the fuses kept blowing. I was just being dumb. But anyway, we're putting in our VFD, got new fuses in, and then we got to try to program this, and we'll see how that goes. So, yep. All right, got all the high voltage all reconnected, so now I got to figure out the low voltage stuff. All right, it's all wired in. We're gonna put the cover back on. I've already programmed it, so we'll see if this thing works. All right, so just to show you, this is the main menu. This is where you set up your motor settings, so we can see we've hit our maximum current, your motor frequency, motor voltage, and the horsepower and all that. So you want to make sure you get that all set up. Back will take us back out. One of the things I found out is for that alarm relay, you do need to go in and set it up, and you go to the main menu and you go to 5, digital in, digital out, and then we go to relays, and then relay 1's the one we're using. We want to have it set up for control ready, and then it'll be good. And then you just want to back out all the way, and there we go. So this one was a fun one for me. I've already verified rotation because you want to make sure it's going the right direction. The unit's back up and running. So yeah, this was the first one for me. So the thing that I screwed up is I was hooking the motor into those fuses, and those fuses, they're not designed for just a full startup. So that's why I kept blowing them. So I had to actually bypass them because the fuses for the blower motor are actually these right here. So if I would have just hooked it up into that terminal rather than into the fuses, I would have been fine. But that's why the motor kicked on for a second and then blew up. Because the VFD never allows it to go straight on, so that's why. So in the future, if you need to bypass that VFD, just don't plug it into those fuses. That was where I messed up. But anyway, thankfully I had someone out to be like, hey Wes, you're an idiot. So anyway, hopefully this helps you out. This was the first time I've ever had to really diagnose one of these. So this video is not really training, it's more so how you can figure it out for yourself. And I probably did it wrong. So thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, comment, tell me what a horrible technician I am. Hit that bell notification and follow me on Instagram, Facebook. If you want to support the channel, pick up some awesome work socks from Camel City Mill. Nighthawk 10 gets you 10% off. And if you like the tools I use, go ahead and pick them up on the screen. Thanks for watching.